Right, so now that you know how to hold the instrument and you have your string names, let's talk about the names of the notes. So there's a few common notes that you're going to use, and the way it works in the mandolin is your G is your open string. The second fret on the G string is the A note. The fourth fret of the G string is your B note. And the fifth fret of the G string is your C note. Now, when you're playing these frets, always bear in mind that on the first fret and the second fret, use your index finger. On the third fret and the fourth fret, use your middle finger. On the fifth fret, use your third finger or ring finger. And for the 6th and 7th fret, which we'll be looking at later on in the program, not yet, but we will be using the pinky finger up there, your smallest finger. So don't be inclined to play every fret with your index finger as I did when I was learning. Do make sure you have, so the best way to get into the habit of doing that is to have the position from lesson 1, i.e. your thumb above the 2nd fret. Let's move on to the next note. Your D string, of course, is your open string. And the 2nd fret on your D string is E. Then we have F sharp, which is the 4th fret of the D string. And then the 5th fret is G. On the A string, the 2nd fret is B. Now we use the 3rd fret on this string quite a bit, it's C. We'll also be using the 4th fret in later lessons, that's C sharp. And the 5th fret is D. And then finally on the E string, E is open. On the 2nd fret we have F sharp. On the 3rd fret again we have G. The 5th fret is A. And then the 7th fret is B, high B. And as I say, we won't be using that for a few lessons yet, but just to be familiar that that's where all the notes are. Now, bear in mind the fingering, as I say, keep that fingering consistent because it's very hard to reverse habits. So get into the habit of using all your fingers right from the start. When you're playing the notes in most tunes, get into the habit of using a down-up plectrum motion. So down, up. So the first note being on a down stroke, down, and the next note you play will be an up stroke. So if we were to demonstrate this by just playing the 0, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret of the D string, let's just practice going down and up. So down, up, down, up. Let's try it one more time. Down, up, down, up. That's the basis of your plectrum hand. Get used to going down, up. Don't go all downs or all up strokes. Use a down, up plectrum motion. Now, with that in mind, we're going to move on to a tune straight away. So if you go to the next part of the lesson, we'll have a look at the tune Frere, Jaques. So now we're going to look at a tune called Frere, Jaques. It's a popular old tune and it's in the key of G. So I'm going to play the tune first at a slow speed and then I'll break it down a bit and play it slower for you. So that's Frere, Jaques, and it uses the notes which are in the G scale. In the next lesson I'll talk about the G scale in more detail, but just to be familiar that that's the scale of notes and that's the range of notes we're using. That's basically what that means. So I'll break the tune down slowly so that we can learn it together. The first note you use is the G note on your D string, and that's using your third finger, remember. And we start always on a downstroke. So down. And then the next note is A on the open A on the third string, and that's going to be an upstroke. Then you have the B, which is the second fret of the A string, and that's going to be a downstroke. And then back to the G we started on with an upstroke. So as I said in the first part, remember it's down, up all the time. So let's practice those 4 notes on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you find that you have to press very hard on the strings in order to get a sound, that's perfectly normal. It takes about 2 weeks of practicing before you develop kind of calluses or hard skin on the tops of your left hand fingers. And until that happens, it might be a slight bit painful, but don't worry about it. Persevere, because the pain will go away. Just keep practicing. So let's move on. The next few notes starts with a B on the A string. And then it goes to a C, which is an upstroke, and then a D, which is a downstroke. So let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. It does that twice, so we're going to have B, C, D, B, C, D. That D, as you can hear, is much longer than the other notes. So as a result, it actually takes place of a downstroke and an upstroke. That means that the B, the second time you play the B, C, D section, the B is actually on a downstroke. The D is on a downstroke as well, but because it's a longer note, we actually just go back to playing. So it's basically 2 downstrokes in succession. Just accept that that's the way it is. So from the beginning, I'll count on 4 and we'll play it up until the second BCD section. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Downstroke. The next section is starting on the D again, and then it goes to the open E. So that's D, E, D, C. So let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go to the B again on a downstroke, and then the G on an upstroke. So let's try that section from the D, E, D part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try from the beginning up until that section, and we do that last phrase twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. And now the last section just has 3 final notes. We start with the G, G, open D, and G again. And then repeat that, G, D, G. Right, so that's Frere de Jaques. Let's play it the whole tune through at a slow speed again. So on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now, always remember down-up motion. Later on we're going to talk about other plectrum motions, but at the moment just focus on down, up, and keep your fingering on the left hand consistent. Well done.